Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Okay, so dear Dhamma friends, we'll resume our session, the third session, our Abhidhamma class, the Abhidhamma group discussion. I hope that you're went through the material and have the questions. So first I will answer the questions which are already in the Google meeting, Google Classroom, which I have not answered yet. So there are a few questions from last month rather. Question from the basic facts of Abhidhamma text, Q1, page 11. What is Vijam commentary? Basic, it's page 11, right? Vijam commentary. The Vijam is really a Sinhalese word, and the Vijam means, as it's a Sinhalese word, it's a Sinhala word. It is the Vijam, the meaning of Vijam is Abhidhamma. It is a short way of telling Abhidhamma, right? In the old books, we can see this word called Vijam. And then here is also, there is a typo. It's given as Attasalinya, right? I don't know it's a typo or not, right? So in Pali, we call it Attasa. Okay. Did you hear mistakenly I have switched off the camera, the mic?
No, we didn't. But
there were a couple of sentences we didn't hear.
Okay, so Vijam means the Sinhalese word. It's for the Abhidhamma, and it means the Vijam commentary means the Abhidhamma commentary called Attasalini, right? It's there's a typo here. It's Attasalini. That's the name of the Abhidhamma. That is the first commentary to the Abhidhamma, right? So in the Abhidhamma there are 7 books. So this is the first commentary for the first book. Okay. The second question is all Paramattha Dhammas are action and non-material. In this statement, could you explain in what context the word non-material is used here? I'm getting confused because I'm associating the word material with Rūpa, which is a Paramattha Dhamma, right? That's page 35. Right, it is stated 35, right? Page 35. All Paramattha Dhamma are actions and non-material. I think here it's again a problem with the translation, right? Something to do with the translation. The non-material means it means that it's not an object, right? The non-material means it's not an object. What do we mean as an object? It's like now this, we have a cup here, right? So this is an object. So so the Paramattha Dhammas, the ultimate reality, it's not an object like this, right? They are actions. Actions means that all of the Paramattha Dhammas, right? All of the Paramattha Dhammas, except for the Nibbana, have a function. They do a particular job. They do a particular activity, right? So that is the meaning of all Paramattha Dhammas are actions, right? So do not confuse with the term Rūpa, right? Material, it's in English, the Rūpa, it's translated into material as material, right? But what it means as non-material means it's I would say it's not an object, right? But again, there is a word in Abhidhamma. In English, there is a word called in Pali, Aramana, right? Aramana means object. The things that we see, the things that we hear, the things that we smell, like that, it's called an object in Abhidhamma, right? So, so do not confuse, do not mix up with this word too, right? So, are we clear?
Yes, thank you, Bhante.
Okay. Question number 3, it's from, here is also, there is an error in the translation. Right? If Citta is not taken as a power arising at the end of the generation of consciousness and taken as a power, possible to prove, and there is an error here, right? I checked the translation, the English book. Prove, we have to remove this sentence. Prove immaterial realm, right? So we know there are 31 places of existence in a world system, and of those 31, among those 31, there's immaterial realm. In Pali, it is called Arupa Bhava, right? It's called Arupa Bhava. So it's the immaterial realm. So in this place, in this realm, the beings do not have any material form. They only have the mentality, the mind, and the associated consciousnesses are there, right? So you cannot find any form of materiality in that being. Right? That's why it's called immaterial being, immaterial realm. So the meaning of this sentence is, if Citta is not taken as a power arising at the end of the generation of the consciousness, which means that the Citta arises at the end of a generation of consciousness, right? Generation means, let's say, this question is from page number 46, right? Yes. Generation means that we know that Cittas, they arise in a sequence, right? One after another, right? Citta number 1, Citta number 2, Citta number 3, like that. It arises. So after each of we know that there are 3 stages of a Citta, or any of Citta and the materiality, right? So three stages, right? The arising, then the persistent stage, and then the ceasing stage. So after each of the consciousness cease, there will be a new consciousness, right? So the power for the arising of the subsequent consciousnesses, they are given by the previous consciousnesses, not by the body or not by the support bases, right? So the body or supported bases, here it means the materiality, right? It's not the materiality which supports, give the power to the arising of the Cittas, right? The power of the arising of the Cittas is given at the end of the consciousnesses, right? At each generation, right? So what it means that it will not be possible to prove an immaterial in an immaterial realm. Which means that if somebody says that the body or the support bases give the power to the arising of the consciousness, then how will the mentality, how will the consciousnesses arise into the immaterial realm, right? It's not going to happen because there are no materiality there, right? That's what is intended here. However, if we were to think incorrectly, the consciousness has a power arising from body supported basis. But okay, I think this question is not more relevant because we currently track.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, question 4, page 16, paragraph 4. I have to go to the page number 16. Paragraph 4. It's all right. Basic facts of Abhidhamma, right?
Bhante, apologies. I think it's from the other book.
Other book, right?
Yeah.
This one, right?
Yeah.
Page number 16, paragraph 4. This one, right? Okay. One, two, three. Am I looking at the correct paragraph? This is 1, 2, 3, 4. This one is paragraph 3, right? Yeah. In certain places, usual facts not included in Abhidhamma texts, books have been included. I see the word actual. Okay. Deep training in the actual situation is required for the ease of learning of the Abhidhamma text. Let us check. I think it means the this is the introduction, right? I think it's about the reality. What it means, I mean, from this sentence, what it means is that if somebody is going to learn if they want to learn the Abhidhamma texts, right? Abhidhamma Pakarana means the canonical text, right? Starting from Dhammasangani to the Patana. So if they want to learn, they need to learn something called Sarupa Vibhaga. Sarupa Vibhaga means the translation would be, it's like understanding the analytical states, right? This is something a little bit technical, I would say. It's like, say, if you say, I mean, in the canonical text, if you have this statement called Kusala Dhamma, right, the wholesome phenomena, then you need to know what are the wholesome phenomena in terms of the analytical states. Analytical states means it's the Paramattha Dhammas, the ultimate realities. You need to have the ability to explain what is the meaning, what are the analytical states related, applicable for Kusala Dhamma, right? For wholesome states, what are the analytical states? So it's going to be 21 wholesome consciousness and the 38 associated mental factors. Then those are the analytical states, right? So it says if somebody does not want to learn up to that level, they do not have any special benefit by learning of it, right? So therefore in this book, that analytical states, the analytical breakdowns are not given in this text. That's what it means.
Okay.
I think it's not the translator may have not understood the meaning of that part, I think so. Okay, keep page 30. Question 5. Page 30, what is the question? When I add up the total number of spheres of existence mentioned here, it is 30. However, we learn typically that there are 31 realms of existence. I'm assuming the realm of unconscious beings is omitted here. Yes, correct. Right, because in those beings, we call it in the Abhidhamma unconscious beings, or rather, the term that I have seen is more in the most of the English Abhidhamma books are non-percipient beings. Right, they don't have any percipient means kind of they cannot see. So I'm sorry, they cannot have any kind of consciousness, right? Any kind of perception like that. It's called non-percipient beings. Yes, the reason that you mentioned here is correct, because they do not have consciousnesses. Because of that, they are not included here in this breakdown.
Thank you, Bhante.
Next one, curious whether we get answers to these or self-revision. I think you can do it, right? I mean, straight away by reading the chapter. Or if there are difficult questions, you can post in the Google Classroom, then we can answer. Page number 32. In Q2, consciousness is divided according to what matters. Oh. I think the most of the issues are with the trans. It's lesson number 1, right? Lesson number 4. Okay. What is the basis of for the division division of the consciousness? Like, okay, can ask it like how the consciousness is divided? What is the basis for that?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Right? That's like that. So it means based on the realms, right?
This,
Karma,
yes.
yeah, the spheres, correct.
Okay.
Okay. Question number 8, page 41. Correct. Page 41, Q8. I'm sorry, page 41, point number 4. The name is page 41. Okay, here we go. This is the page 41, right? Point 4, right? Okay, glad joined prompted consciousness, not consciousnesses, not connect consciousness, not connected with wrong view. Can the urging of one's own mind be an example for the prompted? Okay, I'll explain I cannot understand the question. Okay, so I'll explain what's the meaning of prompted and unprompted, right? To make it very simple. So prompted means that it is, I mean, when some consciousness arises, it is supported, right? It is supported or forced by another set of consciousness, right? It can be due to an internal factor, or it can be due to an external factor. Okay, so the example would be uh, like maybe the parents, right? If somebody assume that a monk or an elder, maybe a monk, come to the home, and they do not like to pay respect to the monk, but the parents say, "Go pay respect to the monk," right? Even in the initially they do not like it, so the parent had to tell after the parent tell the person the child to go and pay respect, bow down to the monk. uh, when the wholesome consciousness, the example I'm giving is from the wholesome side. So then that in that mind, in the mind of that of the child, that person needed more consciousnesses to do that karma. So it means that the consciousness of bowing down and paying respect to the monk, it was prompted by another set of consciousnesses, right? So this is an example for an external thing, external party making the mind prompted. It can happen internally too, right? Somebody sees the monk and he might think, okay, I should pay respect to the monk, and then the mind will not like to do it in the beginning, and then later he realizes, so it's a good merit that if I pay respect to the monk, and then with that support, the person will go and pay respect to the monk. So again, the prompting, it happened internally, like that.
I think that's what I was confused about, Bhante, because I thought prompted was always external, not
Yes.
internal. So if one's own mind is prompting, I thought that would be unprompted. It's something that you are doing, but like what you said, can be internal as a consequence of, say, the parents asking the child to bow down to the monk, and eventually the child will form will bow down through internal forces. Is that correct?
Okay. Yes. Correct.
Yeah.
Next page. Is this question not clear? Was the ball text here meant to say equanimous, unprompted conscious connected with wrong view, given the text directly below the ball text, with wrong view at the forefront?
Okay, I think that was a mistake. I think the difference is the prompted versus unprompted in question 6 and 7. I think I understand it now.
Okay. Question number 10, page, last paragraph. Why would the equanimous consciousness be more powerful than the glad-minded consciousness? For example, if referring to the example provided in the text, stealing, doing a bad deed. I'm assuming power means the strength of the Vipāka or result. Power means, yes, I would say like, I mean, the power is more, when it's more powerful, then the resultant, the resultants are going to be more powerful too. This theory, right, this theory of the glad-minded consciousnesses, the equanimous consciousnesses, it's more powerful than the glad-minded consciousnesses. There is a problem with this theory, right? This comes in a Burmese, I mean, it comes in a Tika, a sub-commentary written in Myanmar. It's in Pali, of course. I have read this commentary, and that is the first place that we can find this theory coming, and that's what the Chanda Vimala Thero is presenting here. But I do not agree with this point, and in that commentary, sub-commentary, it does not provide any kind of logic justification or any kind of reference to the other commentaries or any other text, why it happens. So in real world, we can find that sometimes equanimous consciousnesses, sometimes the glad-minded consciousnesses can be more powerful than the equanimous consciousnesses, right? So it merely the power, the factor of the consciousness becoming powerful. It's mostly related to the volition, right? It's mostly related to the volition, the cetana, not the feeling, the equanimous or the glad-minded feeling. Okay, next one. If doing a bad would have thought, if doing a bad deed, example stealing, I would have thought doing it not connected with a wrong view had more powerful results than a person doing it with pure ignorance, with wrong view. What do you mean by that? Not connected with.
I think doing it with right view. I think I was meant to say in the last 3 words. So if you go to page question 11, page 42.
Okay.
Yeah.
This question, right?
Bad, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes. So the unwholesome consciousness connected with wrong view are more powerful than those which are not connected with wrong view. Yes. So what happens with the wrong view is that the mental factors, right? The mental factors which arise together with the consciousness is something which determines which decides the powerfulness, the strength of that consciousness, right? Or together with the volition, right? So this in general, right? In general, when there are more and more more and more mental factors, unwholesome mental factors, that the karma is going to be powerful, right? That's what it happens here. So, and also there is another thing that if there is a wrong view attached to that unwholesome thing, the karma is going to be intense, right? Now, say in the karma of stealing, right, that is done through the consciousness associated with greed, right? So if a person thinks that there is no unwholesome karma by stealing a particular object, that person will not have any hesitancy, and with that wrong view that the person will steal that object. But if somebody knows this is wrong view, right? I'm sorry, this is a wrong thing, and it will create an unwholesome karma. This is going to give good bad results, and that the person will hesitate in the beginning, and then after overcoming that hesitancy, that person will steal it, but still he knows that what he's doing is wrong. Right? So when such a thing is there, the karma is not very intense, right? That is the reason. But I mean, in generally in the world, you say if you make a mistake, but not by not knowing what is right or wrong, it's forgiven, right? It's like that. It's a general understanding in the world. But in terms of the consciousnesses and in this theory of Abhidhamma, it's the other way around.
Yeah, thank you. All clear.
Okay, there are questions from the Perth youth, but we will give the opportunity for the audience, for the one who has not come up with those questions, so they can send or ask those questions here. Any questions? Okay, no questions. Okay, so in that case, we will answer the other questions which were there in the chat. What is the mean? That is the term Adhikāra or Adhikārta. Is the intended term mean? What is? Can we have the references here? I don't know which place that. I'm pretty sure again this is a problem with the translation. But can we know which place, which the references, which comes here?
Thero and Sarana, I'm just gonna look on the book. I think it's from Abhidhamma Margaya.
Can I remember which place? Okay, we'll skip that question, right? And then we go to the next one. When an object such as visible form or sound simultaneously impacts multiple physical bodies, should multiple consciousness arises at the same time? No, it will not arise at the same time. Only one consciousness will arise. Since two Cittas cannot arise simultaneously in the same beings, how should we understand the statement that wherever Citta occurs, it occurs at the end of the generation of Citta?
Swami Master, this was, I think, in the translation. Like there's a section where it contradicts itself. So, like, we just wanted to make sure that multiple Cittas can't arise at the same time. But there's like a specific paragraph where it says it can and then contradicts and says it can't as well. Like on the sentence.
Okay, I will explain the theory, right? So as I mentioned here, when it simultaneously impact multiple physical base, they will not arise at the same time. So it has to arise after the other one. So whatever chitta occurs, it occurs at the end of the generation of chitta, means after the falling of the chitta, after the ceasing of one chitta, then the other one, the next consciousness will arise, right? Okay, we have the same question here again. Do you get the answer?
Yes, Swami answer.
Right. Do multiple consciousnesses arise simultaneously? No. Or do they arise sequentially in an extremely rapid succession? Yes. Right. They arise sequentially in an extremely rapid succession, and the number of consciousness which arise in a period of a snapshot, right? That's how it is mentioned in the commentaries. It's not calculable. Cannot give a number. This much of chittas, this many number of chittas arise. It does not, cannot give an example, give a number for that, right? Many chittas arise. So that's why we can see, I mean, now here we are, we think that we are, you can see, you can see me on the screen, you can hear the sound, and there are other sounds that you might be listening in the environment. You might be smelling certain things, right? But only one consciousness arises at a time. Because of its rapid succession, we think that we are experiencing all of them together at the same time, but it does not happen in that way.
Swami answer. The previous question is on page 45 on the basic facts of Abhidhamma. First paragraph.
That's a basic fact, right?
Yeah.
Because let's check the English term. This is the Chitta, right? I think most of the questions are on the translations, right?
Yes.
It's not easy. That's why I know I'm a translator. I'm translating Dhamma from Burmese to Sinhalese. I know it's not. How difficult is it? Okay, so here that example is given, that story. Yeah. Here in this bit, software the I don't understand what it means. No, you don't understand what is meaning of Adhikāra here. Adhikāra means the in Sinhalese it means that it means that complete truth sometimes in excess of reality. Now it means the term Adhikāra means it gives an excessive meaning, right? to understand correctly, it is necessary to remove that excessive meaning of it. That's what it means. I cannot understand what is. No, I don't understand what it means. Let's go to the next question. When a consciousness are said to arise simultaneously, does this refer to a process, cognitive event, or merely to an immediate mental reaction? What it means as when consciousness are said to arise simultaneously, it does not arise simultaneously.
Simon said this is referring to page 46, paragraph 1 of Basic Facts of Abhidhamma.
Paragraph 1, right?
Yes, yeah.
When objects such as form and it states when objects such as form and sound impact simultaneously on several physical bases. Several consciousness should arise at the same time. This is just building up the statement. It means, it should have happened, but it's not happening. That's what it mentioned in the following sentence. As to Citta cannot arise simultaneously in one mind base, it should be known that wherever the Citta occurs in the body, it occurs at the end of generation of Citta. At a physical level, right? The physical level, the impact from the body, from the base and the object, it can happen simultaneously with two bases, with their respective objects. That can happen simultaneously on several physical bases, right? The example given is the form and the sound, right? The form is form will have the impact on the eye base. The sound will have the impact on the ear base. It can happen at the same time at a physical level, but the consciousnesses respective for those bases do not arise at the same time. That's what it means, right? It should arise, but it does not arise. That's what the meaning of it.
So does it arise one after the other?
Yes.
How do we know which one arises first?
It does not arise. How do we know which one arises first? In the Dhammasangani commentary, it explains a few things, right? Let me check it. There are a few reasons mentioned. One is that in the Pali it's called the Abhidhamma. I don't know the English term for that. Let me check it. Abhidhamma means that Abhidhamma means the inclination or the interest, right? So now at this moment, our inclination and the interest on here, in this class, in the Zoom meeting, is to listen to what I'm telling and look at the screen and understanding what I'm explaining, right? So the intention is on those two objects only, right? But so to taste something, right? We do not have much inclination on that, right? To smell something, I would say rather, like if there is a smell, and if it is not a very strong smell in your room or whatever the place that you are staying, then you don't have inclination to smell something, right? Then you will not feel it, right? But if your inclination is to see the form, then you have that, the consciousnesses will arise like that. And another reason is that it's this, I would say, the impact or the significance of the object, right? Assume that now there is a thundering light, like there is thunder outside your house, right? Or maybe some other person suddenly shout in a very loud voice, in a very loud tone. Then your attention will go there, right? So that's the I would say it's a significant thing which is happening like that.
So I want to say, how does it work for, like, let's say we're like listening to you while also watching?
Sorry?
How does it work when it's like, which one comes first? When, for example, if it was just me like looking at the computer, I'm like looking at the screen, but at the same time I'm also listening to you talk about the Abhidhamma as well. Like there's two different kind of inputs or impacts there simultaneously. How do we know then like which one takes priority, because both kind of have similar priorities in that case?
The mind is very fast, right? It's extremely fast. So we think that it is doing few things at the same time, right? It thinks that, we are doing many things at one time, but it only does one thing at a time, right? The factors which I mentioned, they are given in general, you know. It does not mention like in, we cannot figure out which one comes first, which one takes the priority like that.
Thank you, Samāpatti.
Yeah. I know you did not find the answer. I'm trying to find the answer from the commentary. Yeah, yes. The explanation I gave was correct. The two reasons were correct. Yes, those are the two reasons given. Yeah, one is the intention, right? The inclination on what somebody wants to know, and the other one is the significance, or we find the English proper word for that. While it's given as musad. What is in excessive, what is in significance, we'll know. Okay, so there is a Dhamma friend from Chattan Dhamma. Let me share it in the screen. Thero Saranai, I'm a student from Indonesia, willing to offer my opinion regarding the question about Adhikāra. After reading the context, maybe the meaning of excess reality means more of a concept rather than Paramattha ultimate reality, which for beings to think properly or more aligned with Dhamma, we need to remove the all unnecessary fantasy, imagination, delusion, and concepts which not align with how Paramattha works. Well, in that context, I think it's very difficult to understand that for me it's very difficult to understand the meaning of it. I think what it means is that, like, sometimes the words if you express in certain words, what is that page? 46, right? Not 46, 42, right?
45.
45, right? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So here it's mentioned, sometimes words such as felt, thought of, needed, comprehended, they all refer to what I understand here, it's that it's like such as words such as felt, thought of, needed, comprehended, understood, realized. They all refer to consciousness, right? And seeing, vision, hearing, bad order. I think the meaning of Adhikāra is some of these words express what is there other than, I mean, it expresses things which is more than the ultimate truth given there. That's what I think. Maybe you're correct, right? We are correct here. Yes. Let's see. Okay. The next one is, okay, there are single versions we can easily check. The admins will send the Sinhalese version of the PDF books.
So we're in the process of sending that right now
Okay.
on Google Classroom.
When consciousness, okay, we answer the third one, right? Third question, right? This one.
Yes, Swami answer.
Then number 4, what are the Paramattha Rūpa and Paramattha Dhamma? How do they differ and what is their relationship? Where did you find this word Paramattha Rūpa?
Page 47 of the same book, paragraph 1.
Paragraph 1. This one?
Yes, Swami answer.
It means, I mean, Paramattha Rūpa means the materiality, right? The materiality. So even if you say it's Rūpa, it's fine, right? The lifetime of materiality is 17 times that of Citta. So Paramattha Dhamma means all the phenomena, right? All the phenomena. If you say Paramattha Dhamma, it is Paramattha Dhamma. It's applicable for the mind, mental factors, materiality, and nibbana. But here, the Paramattha Dhamma refers to the mind, the consciousness, the mental factors, and the materiality, right? So these Paramattha Dhammas, they have a referred, they arise, they persist, and they break up at their extinction. All right. what is Nirodha Samāpatti, under what conditions can it be attained, and what occurs during the state. Nirodha Samāpatti means it can be attained only by Anagami, the non-returners, and the Arahantas, the Arahantas who have destroyed all the taints. And what conditions that can be attained? Not all the Arahantas or the non-returners can attain this stage. They need to have the 8 type of attainments on the Rūpa, the material and the immaterial jhanas, right? When they, so there are 2 conditions here, right? One, they need to have either to achieve, attain the Anagami, the non-returner, or the Arahant stage, and they need to have the 8 attainments on the 4 Rūpavachara jhanas and the 4 Arupavachara jhanas, right? Material jhanas and the immaterial jhanas. And prior to entering this state, they have to do certain preliminary actions, preliminary meditation to attain this state. And what occurs during the state? Nothing occurs, which means they stop the arising of the chitta for a specific period of time. Right? The mind will not arise for a particular period, for a predetermined period. Clear?
Sorry, Mansa, could you please rephrase that?
Sorry?
Sorry, Mansa, could you please rephrase that?
Okay. Nirodha Samāpatti is attainment of cessation, means it can be attained, right? It's a particular state of consciousness. It's really, there is no consciousnesses in that, right? The Anagami, or the Arahantas who attained the 8 material and the immaterial jhanas, they can stop the arising of the consciousness, right? Assume that if somebody have this, the Arahanta have this capability, they can stop the consciousness for a few seconds, right? 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, like that. They can stop the arising of the consciousness, right? Up to 7 days they can do without arising of the consciousness. There won't be any consciousness. Just the material body is there. There is no consciousness. That's why it means as attainment of cessation. Do we get it?
Yes, Swami Mansa.
Okay. What is meant by the statement that there is no occasion on which chittas belonging to the generation of chitta do not arise except the attainment of extinction? Okay, this one is correct. We explained it already, right? Nirodha Samāpatti. And in the unconsciousness sphere, right? Unconscious means the non-percipient sphere that I mentioned earlier. So they are in the non-conscious that sphere. There won't be any, those beings, they only have the material body. They do not have any form of mentality, no consciousness, and the mental factors arise in that place, right? So how it is done? It can be done by the beings who live in the sensuous realm, who attain. I think it can be done by the others. Yeah. Okay, it can be attained by the people who attain the 4th jhana, right? And they do a particular specific kind of meditation, to cease the consciousness from arising in their next life, right? They need to do a particular meditation to stop it. And after they pass away, after they die, they will be born in this realm, right? This realm is a 4th jhana realm, and their body will be there, but there won't be any mind arising at that place, right? But they do not live there forever, right? The lifespan of that realm is 500 eons. And after those 500 eons, they will be born in a sensuous realm, right? They can be either born in the human realm or they can be born in the Deva realm. They won't be born in the four types of hells or in the other Brahma realms, but they will be born as a human or as a deity. Are we clear?
Yes, Swami Mansa.
Okay. What does it to mean that we do not ordinarily perceive the naturally occurring Cittas known as Bhavaṅga-Cittas? Okay. The naturally occurring Cittas means that there is a particular Citta for every body, every being called Bhavaṅga-Citta, right? So it differs, it changes from lifespan to lifetime, right? It's not going to be the same forever. So this Bhavaṅga-Citta, the meaning of Bhavaṅga means that in English it's translated as life continuum, which means when the other consciousnesses do not arise, this life continuum consciousness arises, right? And this life continuum consciousness, it is same for a particular being, for a particular lifetime, for a particular life. The rebirth consciousness, it's called Patisandhi-Citta, and this Bhavaṅga-Citta, it's called the life continuum, and then the death consciousness, it's called the Chuti-Citta. They are the same. Same means it will take it arises because of a karma you did in a past life, and that consciousness will take the object which was taken by that consciousness, right, related to that karma. Do we understand that part, right? Now assume that now all of us are humans and we were born because of a good karma that we did in the past, right? Assume that you were born as a human because of in the last previous life, you offered some food to a poor person, right? Or a beggar, you see, right? You think that you did this karma. So that karma came into your mind at the last moment in that previous life. So that determined your next life, which is the present life. And the rebirth linking consciousness took the same karma as the object, right? And that object will be taken by your life continuum consciousnesses, which is arising at always, and always means that, I mean, even when we are talking like this, when we are walking, this life continuum consciousnesses will arise, right? Like because there are chitta viti means that the mind processes happening, and in between the mind processes, the life continuum consciousnesses will arise. Those life continuum consciousnesses will take that same karma you did in the past. What is that karma? The karma that you offered some food to that beggar, right? And then up until the last moment, until the death consciousness, this consciousness will arise. And why these chittas are not directly experienced, it's because certain chittas are subtle, right? So this is a resultant consciousness, right? Resultant consciousness. Resultant consciousness, right? It's a Vipāka-Citta. The nature, the characteristic of the Vipāka-Cittas are they are very subtle, and it's called they are tranquil. I don't know whether the term is correct. Santa. Santa means they are peace. They are at a calm state, right? I mean, the consciousnesses that we are using to hear, to process things, and then to discuss. So all these consciousnesses, they are not calm, right? If you compare these consciousnesses to the resultant consciousnesses, these consciousnesses that we use to talk, discuss, and move our body, they are not very calm. That's why, right? So the reason is that why we cannot directly experience it's because that these consciousnesses are not calm. But in the meditation, right? If the meditation is very strong, especially if the samadhi, the concentration is very strong, and if there are the basics, the basis of the vipassana, which means the preliminary stages of the vipassana goes into very subtle stages, they can know what is their Bhavaṅga-Citta is, the life continuum Citta is, right? So can understand the object of the Bhavaṅga-Citta too, which means you can see the karma that you did in the past, like that, right? So that's the reason it's not directly experienced. But there are practitioners I know, they can see their Bhavaṅga consciousness too, very clearly.
Thank you for your answer.
Okay, we will be learning more about the Bhavaṅga-Cittas at different chapters, different stages in these basics of Abhidhamma. What type of consciousnesses arise when a person points out another fault or feels remorse? Usually, what type of consciousness arises when another points another's faults? Usually, it's done through consciousnesses associated with hatred, Dosa-Mūla Cittas, and this can be done through the consciousness associated with wisdom, with the wholesome consciousnesses too. Okay. Sometimes you understand it with wholesome consciousness and point out, you explain it to another person with a Dosa-Mūla Citta, with hatred, like that. The remorse, it's definitely, it arises with Dosa-Mūla Cittas, consciousnesses associated, rooted with hatred. Would these be prompted or unprompted? It depends on the time. Sometimes it can be prompted, right? Because if it pops up automatically, and sometimes it can be unprompted. I'm sorry, it can be prompted if there is an effort to think about it seriously sometimes, and if it is if this thought is prompted by another person, it can happen. Unprompted, it can happen too, right? If it automatically comes into your mind. Can repeatedly thinking negatively about oneself throughout the day give rise to hate-rooted consciousness? Yes, obviously. The more you think about you negatively, that you will have hatred, right, toward oneself, and then can be the hatred will be there towards the other people too. Can happen. Right. What are the conditions or causes for the arising of skeptical doubt? How does it differ simply from not knowing or being uncertain? Not knowing or, being uncertain is not the vicikicca, the skeptical doubt, right? Sometimes it can be through wisdom, right? The mind is inquiring certain things. So it's not through the skeptical doubt. Sometimes it can be done through the lobha, right? The conscious with the consciousness associated with greed. Sometimes it can be done with the dosa, right? It can happen. But the conditions and the causes for skeptical doubts, the number one reason is the association, the people that we associate, right? If we associate the people who have these skeptical doubts, then there will be more and more skeptical doubts, right? If the people around you always always, if they are skeptic about the karma and its results, if they are skeptic about the Lord Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha, then it will result in the thoughts about being skeptic, right? So assume right now we know that there are certain people, they will not believe in our Lord Buddha, right? They say, I don't think that the Lord Buddha is, he ever existed. Maybe he's just another man and he did not have those psychic powers. He did not know everything. Maybe he did not realize the Four Noble Truths, right? If people start discussing like that and you are associating that kind of people, then it will have an impact on you. And you might be thinking, oh, maybe that is correct. Is it true? It might be true. And then you start having skeptical doubts on our Lord Buddha, like that. Clear, right?
Yes, Swami Mansa.
Okay. What is meant by the statement, there are only wholesome result and consciousness without roots, but there are no Is it correct, this statement? Shall I check?
I think this was in Abhidhamma Marga. There was like a distinction between wholesome resultant consciousness without root and wholesome, like just wholesome consciousness without root.
It should be unwholesome resultants, I think. There are only wholesome resultant consciousness without roots. There should be, there are what it means is that the wholesome resultant consciousness, right? The wholesome, and it is applicable for the unwholesome resultant consciousnesses too. They can arise without roots, right? They can arise without roots. That's why I mentioned there are only the wholesome resultant consciousness without roots, but there are no wholesome consciousness without roots. Which means that, I mean, when we are doing the wholesome karmas, right? When you are doing the wholesome karmas, then there are, I mean, when they are arising, there are either it's two-rooted or three-rooted, right? Non-hatred, non-greed, non-hatred. Sometimes with those two roots that arise, if it's associated with wisdom, there will be non-delusion too, right? So then there are three roots. But for the resultant consciousness, they do not, some of the resultant consciousness, they do not have roots, right? Those are called the unwholesome, the wholesome resultant consciousnesses, right? Wholesome, we call it wholesome resultant, non-rooted consciousnesses. Why is this distinction made? That is how it arises in the beings, right? That is how it arises in the beings. That's why. What is the difference between unwholesome consciousness and unwholesome resultant consciousness? The wholesome consciousness and the wholesome resultant consciousness. The difference is this being the wholesome consciousness, the unwholesome consciousness, and this being the resultant consciousness. right? This is the kamma and this is the vipāka. This part is the kamma and this is the vipāka, like that. Do you understand?
Yes, Swami Mansa.
What does the statement mean that the five sense do adverting consciousness and mind do adverting consciousness occur only in an arahant? This is wrong. There's no such thing like that. These two consciousnesses can arise within everybody, right? For the non-percipient, for the beings who arise in the immaterial being, they do not have these five adverting consciousnesses. But for the other beings, they have this both type of consciousnesses. This question is wrong, I think. Okay, regarding the classifications of consciousness associated with feeling, how many are accompanied by well-being? How many are accompanied by equanimity? How many are accompanied by suffering? Well, you have to work it out. You have to figure it out from those 89 consciousnesses, how it happens, right? Anyway, there is a chapter, there is a section in the chapter number 3, which teach about this. It will classify the consciousnesses based on these feelings, right? How are these distributed among the 7 unwholesome resultant consciousness without roots, the wholesome resultant consciousness without roots, and the functional consciousnesses without roots? Okay, this one I can answer easily, right? So if you are like here. So the 7 unwholesome resultant consciousnesses without root, right? From those 7 unwholesome resultant consciousnesses without roots, there is one consciousness called I'll share this one.
So I once we made like a mind map and we were trying to kind of reclassify it according to well-being, equanimity, and suffering, because it doesn't classify it in this chapter. That's why we were wondering.
I think I did not open that mind map. Let me open it. I did not open. I saw the mind map, right? So you're asking, the question is about unwholesome resultant consciousnesses, and you want to know the
we want to know how you can reclassify it as like how many of those are under well-being, equanimity, and what was the third one?
Here there is an error, that's why. Here now, this is correct. It's with equanimity. I will put a tick here, right? Have a tick. This is correct. This is correct. This is correct. This is correct. But unwholesome resultant consciousness without root, this one is wrong. It's not with equanimity. It's with dukkha sahagata. Dukkha sahagata means, oh, this is wrong here in this book. This is wrong here. It should not be equanimity. If it's an unwholesome consciousness, it should be associated with displeasure. There's an error here, right? Displeasure. And here it is pleasure. The 8 wholesome consciousnesses without roots, the body consciousness accompanied by pleasure. I think there's, I mean, there is an error in this book. So it should be here, it should be for the equanimity, it should be displeasure. And for here, the wholesome resultant consciousness without root, here this should be pleasure. This one should be pleasure. Right? So now the names are given here, right? So you can figure out for the equanimity, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this one, the body consciousness is associated with this pleasure, right? For the wholesome resultant consciousnesses, for the equanimity, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and these two body consciousness accompanied by pleasure, and the investigating consciousness accompanied by pleasure, they are associated with pleasure. You can find it from the name itself, right? Clear, is it?
How do you, Swami say, group the functional consciousness? Is it not a part of that?
Which
Okay.
one?
You know how the third one is functional consciousness without root, and there's like those ones. We were wondering how you would categorize them as pleasure, equanimous, and
Yeah. So five do adverting consciousness, equanimity. Mind to adverting consciousness, equanimity, and gland mind is producing mirth. I don't know. Mirth, is it?
yeah, that's what the book said.
I don't know. Let me check immediately. Mirth. Maybe there is an English word I don't. Mirth. Yes, it's an English word, right? Amusement, fun, or joy. Yes, correct. Means smiling, right? Okay. Yes, so this is associated with pleasure feeling, the third one. Clear?
Yes, thank you, Swami.
This is equanimity. These two are equanimity. Okay. Any questions here?
So just to clarify, the wholesome resultant consciousness, the body consciousness is accompanied by pleasure. That one is not displeasure, according to like it's incorrect in the book. And then I think it was unwholesome.
Yeah.
Unwholesome. That should be displeasure. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Simon.
Could you provide a breakdown of 59 consciousness according to one classification and 91 consciousness according to another classification, particularly the beauty? So difference is you have this here, right?
We just haven't started the beautiful consciousness.
Yes. Another source is for this Dosa-Mūla site, right? I think they had these mind maps, right? Here we go. So you want to know the 59 and 91 consciousnesses. Okay, so it's very easy. So Bhavaṅga-Citta. Right? So the beautiful consciousnesses, right? Right? So beautiful consciousnesses, it's very easy to understand. So you have to get to have to deduct from the 89 or the 121 consciousness. You have to remove the unwholesome, and then we have to remove the next one is the non-rooted, right? The Cittas. You have to remove. Then you can derive it. You can find the answer here. Right? Non-rooted. How many are there? There are 18 of them. Right. So unwholesome, there are 12. Right. So from those, so 89 minus 30 is 59. Or I can say the other way, if you take the long, the 121 method, so it's 91. Like this.
Thank you.
Clear? So
Yes.
from here you can pick, right? You have to remove this part, right? So you take only the consciousnesses, these consciousnesses. So in one classifications, you take 8 consciousness from here, right? Or you take 40 consciousnesses from here.
Yes. Thank you, Simon.
From these classification, how many are unwholesome consciousnesses? Okay, you have to find it out, right? You don't need me to find all these things, right? So it's 12 unwholesome wholesome consciousnesses. There are 21, right? 21. And how many are resultant consciousnesses? 36. How many are functional consciousnesses? 20. How many are accompanied by Somanassa? 63, I think. From Vipāka, 55. How many are accompanied by Dukkha? 2. Or we can say 3. Get the total correctly? Yeah, 63, 55, and 3. How many are unprompted and how many are prompted? I don't remember exactly. Now, we use your mind map and figure it out.
Thank you, Simon.
Okay. Any other questions? Anything that we need to discuss or any suggestions on the team on our class?
Swami answer the website, is it Rūpa-Mūla on like the Abhidhamma tutorials? Is that like a website that we should kind of refer to?
Yes, you can refer that website. I saw this website some time ago, and I don't know who is doing this, but whoever the person or the team doing this website is doing a very good job. I saw especially with the Abhidhamma tutorials, which are quite simple, and this, yeah, you can use it. You don't have much details, but it gives good summaries, and which makes your study easy, right? But what I recommend really is to, once you learn the subject, once you learn a topic, you have to do it. I mean, it's better you do it by yourself, right? Figure out your own summary, prepare your own sheet on Excel sheet or whatever the document, and it's going to be beneficial for you when you do it by yourself. Yeah. Okay, so we'll share the merits before ending the class. Okay, so we'll share the merits with the deities, the deceased relatives, and make our aspirations to attain Nirvana. Akasatta Chubummatta Devanaga Mahidika Punyantam Vadinasudu. Akasatta Chubummatta Devanaga Mahidika Punyantam Anumoditva Chiram Rakkantu Sasanam. Akasatta Chubummatta Devanaga Mahidika Punyantam Anumoditva Chiram Rakkantu Desanam. Akasatta Chubummatta Devanaga Mahidika Punyantam Anumoditva Chiram Rakkantu Mam Param. Idammi ñātenam hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Idammi ñātenam hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Idammi ñātenam hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Imina punya kammena mame bala samaganu satan samaganu hotu yava nibbana pattiya. Yang patntang kusalang tassa anubhavena panino sabbe saddhamma rajassa ñatva dhammang sukhavaham papunantu visuddhaya sukaya patipattiya asoka manupayasam nibbana sukhamuttamam. Chiram tittatu saddhammo dhammi hontu sagarava sabbepi satta kalena sammadeo pavassatu yatharakkinsu purana surajano taterimam raja rakkatu dhammena attanova pajang Imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya buddhang pujemi. Imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya dhammang pujemi. Imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya sanghang pujemi. Addha imaya patipattiya Jati jara vyadhi maranam va parimuccissami idam me punyam asavakkaya vaham hotu idam me punyam nibbanassa paccayo hotu mama punya bhagang sabba sattanam bhajemi te Sabbe mi samang punya bhagang labhantu Buddha sasanang chirang tittatu Buddha sasanang chirang tittatu Buddha sasanang chirang tittatu Sadhu sadhu sadhu.
On behalf of everyone here, I would like to express our deepest gratitude to Venerable Atulanaṇa Thero for your compassion, kindness, and generosity in guiding us through today's Abhidhamma reading and guided reading circle. And we're truly grateful for the invaluable Dhamma you have shared with us, Bhante. May the merits we have accumulated throughout listening to, reflecting on, and discussing the Dhamma be respectfully offered to Bhante. May these merits be supportive conditions for Bhante's good health, long life, strength, and continued fulfillment in the noble journey of preserving and sharing the Buddha Sasana for the benefit of countless beings. May the blessings of the Triple Gem be with Bhante, and may you all continue to also grow in wisdom, virtue, and concentration, and may progress in the noble path leading to Nibbana. Okasa Vandami Bhante. Maya Kata.
Please wait. Yeah, please wait. We need to share merits to another person too. There is Mrs. Srima Abekon's sister. She passed away, and I think about 1.5 months ago. And her name is the sister's name is Tilaka Abekon, and she's from Arupala, Kandy. So we share the merits which we accumulated by learning, teaching, and discussing this Dhamma to her too. May she rejoice on our merits, and may our karma be a supportive factor for her to attain Nibbana too. So we share merits with that being too. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, yes, continue.
Okasa Vandami Bhante.
Sukhi hotu.
Maya Katam Punyan Samina Anumoditappang.
Sadhu, sadhu, nami.
Samina Katam Punyam Mayanda Tabbang.
Sadhu, anupagam.
Sadhu Sadhu Anumodami. Okasa Dwara Tena Katan Sabbang Atjang Kamata Me Bhante. Okasa Kamami Bhante.
Sukhi.
Dutiyampi Okasa Kamami Bhante. Tatiyampi Okasa Kamami Bhante.
Okay, Sukhi hotu.